Yo, what's good, everybody? RJ Sheldon here, episode 65 of Off the Top Show. You already know what we do here. We talk about sports. So let's go ahead and hop right into it. Obviously, with this season coming up, we're strictly going ahead and talk about the NFC North and obviously all the things that come with it when it comes to obviously the Bears, the Packers, the Vikings, and the Lions. I have put together today kind of some of my predictions on what I think each individual from position is going to go ahead stat wise, from quarterbacks, from running backs to wide receivers to tight ends. So let's go ahead and hop right into it. So let's just go ahead and start off with the quarterbacks here. I have Kirk Cousins and Jared Goff throwing for roughly around 4,000 yards. I got them under, or if not, right around 30 touchdowns. And I got them under 10 interceptions. I think these two guys right here are definitely going to go have an incredible season. Kirk Cousins, we already know about him, what he did last year and all the weapons that he has around him. Obviously with JJ, obviously with KJ, bringing in Addison as well. And obviously they have guys back up that are able to fill that role and to go ahead and be very productive for that offense. Kirk Cousins, we all know, pocket passer, to be honest. If he does run, it's a shock, but he does make the right decisions and the right throws majority of the time when he's in the game and puts his team in a position to go ahead and make sure that they're scoring touchdowns or at least scoring a field goal. So I'm expecting big things out of Kirk Cousins and the Vikings offense this year. And then over to Jared Goff. Jared Goff's been one of those guys that really has been a consistent football player from the quarterback position, I believe. What they got going on, especially with the Lions, they got all the pieces that they need. Obviously, St. Brown's there. They go ahead and have Williams as well. They brought back Marvin, who was there 2 years ago. He was with the Jacksonville Jaguars. And they have pieces. And then obviously with the tight end position as well, got Sam Laporta, solid tight end guy coming in his second year. He has weapons around him. And obviously with the running game as well, getting Gibbs there. And then obviously having Montgomery. So they have weapons all over the place. I expect him to have a monster year as well as Kirk Cousins. I think these guys are going to be the front runners in the NFC North for quarterback play. Kind of have that battle who's going to be the best quarterback coming out the NFC North. So I expect both those guys to have a huge season. Then moving on over towards obviously the two guys that we have left here, we got Jordan Love and Justin Fields. I got both of these guys throwing for roughly 3,000 yards. I got them right around 20 touchdowns, and I got them under 15 interceptions. So for Jordan Love, obviously this is going to be his first season being the starter for the Green Bay Packers. We all know weapons are a big thing, like I mentioned earlier. Obviously having Christian Watson, Romeo Doubs, Jalen Reed, obviously. And then tight ends wise, obviously Musgrave that we had picked up from the draft. And then on top of that as well, Kraft, guys that literally we got to go ahead and kind of reshape this offense to go ahead and be the new era of obviously the Green Bay Packer franchise. For Jordan Love, I think it's going to be a lot of growing pains, but it's going to be a lot of good growing pains and a lot of high side on his end. I think with now LaFleur being able to go ahead and make actual game decisions when it comes to play calling, when it comes to actually running his offense, he's going to be able to do that with Jordan Love. Obviously with Aaron Rodgers being there, granted him being a Hall of Famer and him being in the league for so long that he knows everything. It's kind of hard to tell a guy what to do and to be able to do the small things to go ahead and continue drives. Prime example, going ahead and running it on, 3rd and 1 or 3rd and 5. And that's where Jordan Love is going to bring that element of running the football as well, play actions. And I think it's going to be good for us, and it's going to be another add-on to our offense of what he already has been doing when he had got in last year, especially when he played the Philadelphia Eagles when Rodgers came out, was throwing obviously dimes all over the field. So I'm excited to see what this young man does. I'm on the Jordan Love train. I think that within 3 years, and I said this previous episodes, that we definitely are going to see a Super Bowl out of him within 3 years. I like what this offense is doing. Obviously, the preseason was incredible to see. And I'm totally forgetting about the running backs here when I can talk to him about them right now. Aaron Jones, A.J. Dillon. Obviously, we have Wilson as well, who had an incredible preseason. Basically, I think he had over In the 3 games total, he had over 250 yards total, which is good. One game played Cincinnati had like 120. So we have weapons. And I'm excited to see what LaFleur does with these weapons. But I'm definitely interested to see what Jordan Love does this year. Hopefully, what I had projected, he does better. But being realistic here, I'm excited to see what he does. And I think if you're a Packers fan, we're moving in the right direction. But don't be surprised if you see a lot of growing pains. But I think LaFleur is going to put him in a position to go ahead and showcase what he can do the best, make the game stupid simple for him. And I can't wait to see what goes down. And then obviously with the Bears, Justin Fields, I have him at the same, kind of stat line, right around 3,000 yards, throwing for 20 touchdowns. I got him under 15 interceptions. I'm just being realistic with him. Obviously, I want all these guys to do well. But just previous years, obviously, what he did last year, granted, yes, he was running for his life. But now, the Bears probably had one of the best off seasons and best drafts, getting guys that needed to go ahead and get them in the right place for right now, getting them to where they can go ahead and possibly win the North, possibly go ahead and be one of those teams that make the playoffs this year. I think this is going to be Justin Fields' year where he has to prove himself to where, he might not be on the trading block, or if he's going to be that guy that's going to be a top 10 quarterback. Granted, I want him to do well, but I think he's going to be in that same position where, I don't think he's going to be throwing for 4,000 yards. He might flirt in between 3,000 and 4,000. But what I was watching, especially in preseason, yes, obviously they have DJ Moore that comes over from Carolina to kind of give them the number one wide receiver. I see it working, but you need to understand that I think defensive, especially in the NFC North, is way better than it was, I feel, since the early 2000s. So I think it's going to be very difficult for him. He's going to have to go ahead and show that he can stay in the pocket and throw the football and be cool, calm, and collective in there. A lot of plays last year where there was no need for rollouts. There was no need for him to go ahead and escape the pocket. Sometimes for him to step up and to go ahead and make a throw. So he has, obviously, the talent from running back position, obviously, with let me see here real quick, Herbert as well. I think he's going to be a good piece. Go ahead and help him with Justin Fields in the running game. And then obviously with the wide receivers, DJ Moore, Claypool, Mooney. Obviously, he has a team of guys around him. So these quarterbacks have guys that can go ahead and get them in a position to go ahead and be successful. So I'm excited to see what goes down with that. And then let's go ahead and head over to the running backs here. I got Aaron Jones, I got Gibbs, and I got Herbert rushing for over 1,000 yards, kind of being that new era of running backs in the NFC North. I got them rushing for over 1,000 yards and having at least over 5 touchdowns. Prime example in this league, man, if you can go ahead and run the football for over 100 yards, you got a pretty good darn chance of winning the football game at any level, but especially in the NFL level. If you're able to go ahead and control the line of scrimmage, it makes the offense way easier to play call, makes it more fluid, and you're having a heyday if you're running the ball for over 100 yards. So I got those 3 guys rushing for over 100 yards. And then guys that I got under 800 yards and under 5 touchdowns, I got A.J. Dillon, Alexander Madison, and David Montgomery. But those guys are definitely guys that can go ahead and come in and run downhill and be able to control a game as well. All these guys that I just mentioned are able to go ahead and control a football game. They're all talented at that position, catching the ball in the backfield or obviously running between the tackles or obviously stretch plays. So those are kind of the guys that I have numbers-wise when it comes to the NFC North running backs. And then obviously for the wide receivers here, loaded this year with a ton of talent. Obviously at the helm there, Justin Jefferson, going to be probably one of the highest paid wide receivers, going to get a bag as he's well-deserved. His stats are insane of what he's done ever since he's touched the NFL. Definitely have him over 1,000 yards and over 5 TDs. I got KJ Osborne over 1,000 yards this year. This is going to be one guy that's going to go ahead and showcase what he can do, being that number 2 wide receiver. He's going to do a lot of good things, especially in that scheme. Everyone having, a year underneath their belt, they know what they're doing in that offense. and everything should start clicking at this moment. At this time, excuse me. So I got those two for sure. I got St. Brown with the Lions definitely being over 1,000 yards and over 5 touchdowns. And then I got Christian Watson and Romeo Dobbs. I think those guys are going to go ahead and hit 1,000. If we're able to go ahead and get the running game going and be able to open play action passes, it's crazy. All you need is literally over 50 yards every game, and you're at close flirting with 1,000 yards or even more. So I think they definitely can do that. And the last one, I got DJ Moore, definitely go over 1,000 yards, being the number one guy over there in Chicago. So those guys are definitely going to be the cream of the crop, I feel, of this division when it comes to wide receiver play. And I feel that it's easy to obtain that. So expect those guys to have a monster year. And then obviously more guys that I have as well that's right under 800 yards and under 5 touchdowns. I got Jalen Reed, rookie coming out of obviously Michigan State. Shout out to the Spartan Dog. I got him under there. He's going to be very productive this year. As you can tell in preseason that they were using him a lot in the slot. And I think he's going to feast in the position that he's at. And then I got Williams being under 800 yards. I got Marvin Jones being under 800 yards. I got Claypool being under 800 yards. Mooney as well, and Jordan Addison, obviously the new addition this year in the draft from USC that is with the Vikings. So all these guys, really, obviously the cream of the crop guys. I see those guys for sure over 1,000 yards, but the guys that are under 800 yards and obviously under 5 touchdowns, I can definitely see them being close to 1,000 yards, but you never know. You never know what can happen. Obviously, I hope everyone stays healthy and they can go ahead and get paid and get where they need to be this season. But don't be surprised, those guys that I said that are under 800 yards creep around at that 1,000 yards because I think they definitely can do that. And then last but not least, obviously, I have our tight ends here. TJ Hackinson obviously signed a massive deal for the Vikings extension. I think he 4 years over $65 million, if I'm not mistaken. Shout out to him for that. He definitely deserves that, without a doubt. I got him over 500 yards, over 3 touchdowns. I got Laporta, obviously Sam Laporta for the Lions over that as well, over 500 yards and 3 touchdowns. And then I got Cole Kempment. Could be saying it wrong. I think it's just Cole. Yeah, Kempt. My bad, brother, if I'm saying it wrong. But he just got signed big for the Chicago Bears. I think he got an extension. He's going to be one of those guys that's going to be, I think, a pretty good safety valve for Justin Fields and likewise for Jared Goff when it comes to, third downs or red zone or tight end screens or anything like that. And the same thing with TJ Hackinson. We already know what he did last year. Very efficient in that offense and was probably number 2 behind JJ when it came to who needed to get the ball in certain situations. So I got those guys with that stat line. And then obviously guys under 500 yards and under 3 TDs. I got Musgrove. I got Kraft for the Packers, excuse me. And then I got Ryan Tillman, who was with the Packers, now is with the Bears. He is going to be kind of flirting with that 500 yards, under 500 yards, and under 3 TDs. And then I got Brock Wright, and then I got Johnny Munt with the Vikings. He is one of those guys that I feel that is going to be right around there, if not even under that, due to obviously TJ Hackinson being the main guy. And then Brock Wright is obviously with the Lions. He definitely can be a guy that can be kind of in that same position where he's backing up, obviously, Laporta. But those guys are definitely going to be in there for run game, all that good stuff to go ahead and help their team put their best foot forward on Sundays or Thursdays or Mondays. So that's kind of my prediction when it comes to the NFC North. NFC North is going to be our backbone here. We're going to definitely be diving in this season on these teams, play, coaching, play calling, all that good stuff, especially when it comes to NFC North. So be on the lookout for that throughout this whole season. It's here. Tomorrow starts Thursday. Lions versus Kansas City Chiefs. If you're a Lions fan, you should be absolutely ecstatic that you're playing tomorrow. Primetime game. To be honest with you, man, I was thinking about this last night. I think this is going to be a good game. Obviously, we all know that Travis Kelce is questionable, but for my real, take on that, I think he's definitely going to play. If it's a hyperextended knee, granted, he has soreness and things like that, but if I'm him, I'm playing. I mean, if your leader obviously played in the Super Bowl on a bad ankle, I think you can go ahead and go out there and play, especially what Patrick Mahomes did last year, showing his will, showing his grit, showing his perseverance, and leading a team like, hey, no matter what, I'm coming out and playing. I think Kelsey's going to do the same. I don't think he's going to sit out this game. He's definitely going to play. But if you want my honest opinion, this is going to be a tight game. Lions are definitely going to have to play a great, efficient football game on both ends. Jared Goff is going to have to play very efficient. Their defensive line's going to have to create chaos for that man 15 in red, white, and yellow, because obviously he's one of the best. No, he is the best quarterback, obviously, in the league. So they're going to have to maintain him, the weapons that they have. And it's going to be a tough battle. But I think if you really look at both of these teams on paper, they match up very well. I think it comes down to obviously schemes, obviously from a coaching standpoint on both ends. Being able to go ahead and sustain a drive, being able, once you get on the field for the Lions, have to come away with points, mostly touchdowns, but you have to come away with either 3 or 7 against this Kansas City Chiefs team, because they've been through everything. They know every single situation. They have one of the best quarterbacks in the league. They have one of the best tight ends in the league. They have skill positions all over the place from an offensive standpoint. So it's really big on the defense to go ahead and kind of handle and maintain that. I'm not saying that they're going to shut them down. I think really, if you do shut someone down in the league, that team is very bad, especially from an offense position. But I think this is definitely a team, if the Lions just go ahead and get key stops in certain downs to go ahead and put themselves in a position to win a ball game, they definitely can do that. And Kansas City's going to have to go ahead and maintain the Lions' skilled players as well from the offensive end. I already mentioned the guys that I had earlier when I had threw some predictions out for stats. I think this is going to be a very big game, like I said, for Jared Goff. If you want to kind of get my X factor here, I think the biggest X factor for this game is definitely that Detroit Lions line, They're going to have to maintain 15. And I think for the offense, I think Jared Goff in that running game is definitely, and Gibbs is going to have to be very special in this game, and Montgomery's going to be very special in this game. They're going to have that 1-2 punch to go ahead and open, obviously, shots down the field, and then get St. Brown and Williams and Marvin very involved quickly to go ahead and take the top off from a corner position. So if you want my guess on this game, man, I said the backbone earlier. The NFC North is our backbone. I'm taking the Lions, man. I'm taking them in a close one here. I got them winning 24-21. Tight game in Chiefs Kingdom. I think we're going to have a shocker here. Regardless if Kelce is playing or not, I think the defense is going to come to play for the Lions. They got the pieces, and I think they're going to get the critical stops on certain downs for them to go ahead and get themselves a ball game. So I got the Lions winning this one 24-21. We shall see what happens. So, and then moving on from the NFL, obviously we've been seeing a lot of NBA news here. Let's just go ahead and talk about the USA team. Brackets for the quarterfinals came out. USA beat Italy 100-63. Germany beat, I think it's Lithuania, could be wrong. But either way, what team it is. We have USA versus Germany for the game going to the finals. And that time, obviously, military time is 2040. No idea what military time is off the top of the head. When it comes to normal time, I think it's probably going to be in the morning for that game. So that should be good for the USA team. They've been playing good. They only have like one loss, Lithuania. But obviously, Anthony Edwards has been kind of at the helm there, playing big. This past game, I think Reeves had 45. He had like a triple-double. He did have a triple-double. Had 45, like 19 and 10. So obviously, I'm expecting the USA team to go ahead and get into this final and go ahead and bring a gold medal home. So or whatever they're doing there, because I think it is the World Cup. It'd be throwing me off. Like they'd be saying like the FIBA, or if it's a World Cup, whatever. Anyways, bring the trophy home, bring the gold home. So that will be going down. And then obviously this morning, Canada obviously beat Luca's team. They're going to be in there playing. Let's see who this is. Serbia, excuse me. They play them on Friday as well. Military time, 16:45, and I believe that's probably going to be either a morning or noon game as well. But it's Canada versus them. And then hopefully, obviously, if I can pan this out and predict this year, I would love to see USA versus Canada and USA winning that. So be prepared for that. Games are going to be on Friday. USA, you already know what I'm rocking, what I'm on. And then to go ahead and kind of stay in the realm of the NBA, Christian Wood agrees to a 2-year deal with the Lakers. Lakers have been having an unreal offseason with picking up guys and veteran guys. If you want my honest opinion for picking up this guy, I think they're set, man. This is a team that needs to be in the championship, team that needs to go ahead and start out hot when October comes and the first game for the NBA season starts. They definitely should, their first 10 games, they should be at least, 9-1 or 8-2. There should be no way that they should be 500. So I think this is a good pickup for them. When Anthony Davis comes off the floor, gives a breather, he can definitely come in and give buckets. Christian Woods has been kind of has been a consistent player throughout his career. He was with, obviously, the Houston Rockets, and then obviously coming from the Dallas Mavericks. Consistent player in that pick and roll, especially with if it's either Bron or D'Lo or Reeves, is going to be very effective, and obviously the pieces that they have around him. I'm excited to see what he brings to that team. So we shall see what goes on with that, but that's one of kind of our early pickups that have kind of been in the buzz from Twitter and all that good stuff. So we shall see how that plans out, but I think it's going to work out in the good favor for the Lakers. And then with that, man, obviously that season starts in the October time. Can't wait to see what happens in the NBA. Obviously, all the pieces that have been moving around this offseason. We're still waiting on some guys. Damian Lillard, what that situation is going to be. And obviously these rookies that are coming in, I can't wait to see what they do. And you already know I can't wait to see what my Bucks are going to be on. Obviously, I know Giannis can come and be ready to go ahead and make a statement due to what happened last year, losing in the first round, which is terrible. So I'm excited for that. And then obviously we're going to head into golf. Ryder Cup should be on the way. Just looking that up here real quick. So never mind. End of September, but just to get you guys warmed up for that, that's another USA favorite to win that. Always, per usual, we got the best golfers in the U.S. That starts September 29th through the 23rd, and then obviously ends October 1st. But I just want to give you guys a heads up on that. But other than that, man, short and sweet to you today. Episode 65, obviously concluding here. Have a great Wednesday. We're going to see you on Friday. And you already know what we're doing out here, man. I'm going to be in your ear. We're going to be on all platforms. We're on YouTube. We're on Spotify. Hit me up on Instagram. Hit me up on Twitter. We're everywhere, man. And obviously, I got the cast. You know who that cast is. So have yourself a great Wednesday. Continue to be you. Continue to strive for greatness. Continue to chip away at your dreams and chip away at what you want to do in this world. I'm out of here. Peace out.